Hey everybody, I'm Miriam Mick and you have come to the live chat for howtoliveintopeace.com, How to Live into Peace. The chats that we do here, tonight's chat is dealing with bad news, and we do these chats, they're building on the free course that you'll find on howtoliveintopeace.com, and you can find that through the Facebook page, the link there, or just go to howtoliveintopeace.com, and there is a free course page there. You can get those just by signing in your email, and you'll get them one day a week for 7 days. Every day for 1 week for 7 days. We're dealing tonight with bad news, and I think it's a really interesting thing that the universe does, that the Holy Spirit does, to get me ready for tonight's chat. I got some really bad news in the last week. Really started a week ago Tuesday, so I'm have fresh with the experience of getting bad news, what that does to your body, what that does to the different stages you go through to deal with that. And so let's just talk a little bit about what that experience is like. The very first thing is I got my news by phone. And I happened to have been on vacation, which is kind of sad, but I was on vacation. I got this call. I had been planning to go down a certain road, and this call was saying, blocking that plan that I had lived into, that I had put certainly the investment of my heart, but also the investment of some money. My first thing then is the reaction to the messenger. And it's just the way we do things. So my very first thing, and we're going to go through, it's so clear, Elisabeth Kubler-Ross's stages of grief, stages of reaction to bad news. And the first one was denial. Because the very first thing I said was, that is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. I will fight this. I told about the emotional investment, and I really believed that I would be trusted to do this thing. So there's hurt involved. And then what happened next was, because I'm on vacation, I've got some activities, it kind of goes away from my, you get busy into other things, and then it comes back to you. And so there was some lost sleep right in the middle of that vacation, right before I had to drive back. It was affecting my thinking process. It was affecting my ability to have a good time, of course. So what happened next was that I truly believed that this situation could change, that the superiors that I had been talking to about it would be able to bring about a change in the situation. So there's the kind of the bargaining piece. It's going to be okay. It's kind of a denial thing, but it's going to be okay, and it's going to work out just fine, because there's this person that's going to help me make the difference, and I'm going to lean into that possibility. The anger piece that Elisabeth Kubler-Ross talks about was more, for me in this particular case, a sense of injustice. This isn't right. It's unfair. There was a sense of cruelty. That people were making this decision for me instead of allowing me to go ahead. There was a numbness as well that came after I got back, but I couldn't think through to do much work. I could just sit and be numb. I did some needlework. I did some things like that. But in terms of really having the ability to move forward and get anywhere, with any kind of productivity, that wasn't going to happen. And so there was a lot of meditation, a lot of peace, trying to find peace in the moment, just to breathe deeply, to be totally present to the situation I was in on vacation, to to do my best to, because I didn't get to see those people very often. Anyway, so that numbness, and then so that meeting that I was hoping for that did occur was still totally out of my control. So I had no way of affecting the outcome. Praying, hoping, and trusting that the right thing would happen. But I thought my right thing would happen. I was in denial about that. So then the meeting occurred just last night, and so that's part. All this is very fresh. The meeting occurred. I guess the numbness had some depression in it as well. Excuse me. Well, I keep getting them. Didn't know you could get notification about text while you were doing the live feed, but apparently you can. So I got the call with a verdict, and my superior was telling me it wasn't good. It's not going to be good for you. That none of the things I thought might influence the group making the decision seemed to matter one bit. And there wasn't anything he could say. And so the moment I got the verdict, there's something about that released the tension. I'm no longer in tension with that group because the decision's made, and I can't fight for it anymore. I'm not going to be doing something they're against. So the tension was released. And at that point, the acceptance comes in. So there's anger, bargaining, denial, depression. I did shed some tears, mostly when I just found out, and in the night when I was losing sleep. There's grief involved, but not like the grief of the loss of someone you've loved dearly for a long time. That's a whole nother level than this bad news. But so it didn't go well. And I had made it all to this acceptance place. There was validation, not of my point of view, not of my rightness, but of their rightness. And so what I had been planning for and living into and investing in was not going to happen. It's like a rug being pulled out from under you. So that bad news piece is about that. The opposing point of view wins, and what do you do with that? You sit with it and you take it in. We come to that acceptance place. At least there's not any more tension. Had a chance to have a conversation today with one of the players, and last night with another. Not sure exactly what all that's about, except there is a sense that, in my sense, the hurt is about the lack of trust. At any rate, I got to this place. This is going to be the verdict. That's the end of it. So the possibility, the first call, which I truly was in denial that would be the outcome until I got the verdict phone call. And so then I'm in that place. If you read the free course, I'm in that place to deal with the loving what is. Because now I know what is. And if I go down the road of this shouldn't have happened the way it did, I'm going to create a whole lot more anxiety for myself. I'm not going to be at peace with the decision that's been made. I'm not going to be able to accept it. I'm going to just go into some stinking thinking that's going to take me way away from a place where I can be at peace with what has happened. And so I began to make calls, canceling the plans, canceling the jobs that were involved, canceling the way all that was going to unfold, and hoping for some refunds, but there's no guarantee of refunds. So there's a financial hit as well as a deep emotional hit. But I'm still in that place where that particular road was going to be the answer for me to the resolution of an issue that exist for me. So that problem still exists. My solution to that problem no longer exists. So the roadblock's been thrown up. Even though I came to that decision prayerfully, I did not make the commitment until I got an affirmation from that still small voice that this was the direction and this was going to be something that would be helpful to me personally, that I could manage just fine with some help from the people that I had hired to help me. So still there's an unmet need. So I have to figure that out. But that road toward that place, that's been received. That's been accepted. Now, Walt Adams is an author of a book called Change Your Reality, which is on Kindle. I Googled it just to make sure that it was available. Walt Adams. He suggests there's a sixth stage besides the denial, the anger, the bargaining, the depression, and the acceptance. And his sixth thing is thanksgiving. If we can, even though we are not sure why this happened the way it did, if we can be thankful in all things, if we can add thanksgiving, it's certainly a biblical thing as well. If we can add thanksgiving to that next stage, what am I thankful for? What is the gift that has been given to me, even in the bad news, even in the outcome that I so totally wasn't looking for, did not expect, was a shock to my system, to my life. So the thanksgiving is finding that thing. And I guess the one thing I can name today is that I know a whole lot more information about the environment I'm in and the possibilities that can unfold than I have known before. One of the things we have to do, we can do it well or we can do it and create more problems and more lack of peace. If we don't allow the process to unfold, we don't allow ourselves to feel the feelings. It's very uncomfortable. We can't stop it. But that fight or flight feeling where you just think you're sick to your stomach and you think, there's nowhere to turn. There's no place to go. There's a Thanksgiving, I'm backing up. There's a Thanksgiving that I had the supervisors, he had my back. He went to bat for me and did it in a tough situation. And I am very grateful for that. So I can see some of the gifts. There were friends that called me today that usually don't call. And they're friends that are friends in this situation. So I'm grateful for that. Those who just wanted to see how I was doing. Those who didn't know about it, but just were thinking about me today. Hello, there's some more going on here than we can see. And then the ability to talk about it. Because the ability to talk about it, every time you tell your story, it has less hold on you. And truthfully, tonight, this whole thing has less hold on me. It's now a done deal. We'll see as I go back into the environment with the folks who made that decision, how that's going to work out. But having talked to one of them today, I think it might be okay. You allow the process, and if you saw that free course part about being thrown off normal, it was the clock piece. This news threw me off normal in a way that I knew that life could not be the same. Not the same as I planned it, not the same as I felt like was going to be the route for me to go in my life. It was a decision that was made, stopping what I was going to do for my life. So it throws you off normal and into that journey to, at 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock, the rite of passage, that piece that's in the free course. into a journey first of letting something go. I can't move away from this unless I let go of what I had set my heart on. So you let go of that thing or those things. You let that go, and then the transition can begin. I said in the free course, there's a time when I just realized that you just have to dive in. It goes much quicker when you're just willing to dive in, make the change, let go of whatever it is, and move to a place of peace. Depending on the situation, it takes a short time or it takes a long time. From Tuesday, a week ago, well, actually it's this past Tuesday, I have lost the sleep. I've lost the productivity. I've just let myself sit. And when I've been in touch with the Holy Spirit, I've just been given that peace that there's nothing that needs to be done. I was waiting for others to do what they were going to do, and they've now done it. So there's a waiting, but that transition, that journey, you let something go, you transition, and then you grow into a new place that can deal with the people that made that decision and, in my world, took away something I cared deeply about. That wasn't about me. There's another piece in that free course. That wasn't about me. It was about them and their fears. It wasn't about what I was going to do to them, or it wasn't about me. So I can be at peace, not taking it personally, because it was about something besides me. I can't give away too much because this is going to be online. The others' reactions. There are some people that are hurt for me. There are some people who have been in touch with me. I said that. They've been in touch with me who don't normally. There are new connections and bonds that are being made. There are people in my position that had no idea that other point of view was validated, because we've been living under a validation of being able to make this road happen. I've already said that one part of having people with you is that you can tell the story again. Maybe call someone who isn't a part of it and tell the story. If you're like me, you just sometimes don't want to bring bad news to other people. But we have a need to tell the story. How often do we need to tell it? We tell it as long as it takes for it to come up and out of our gut and out of our system. It's like confession. You confess, this is how I'm feeling. Please take it from me. But unless we confess it and let it come up, either consciously or through talking about it, the Holy Spirit, the divine, the universe can't help us be released from it until we are willing to acknowledge what it's doing and bring it up to be released by talking about it, or time. It takes time, talk, and tears. They say in grief work. If you're a man, you probably physically work things out, hammering nails, doing a hard run. Now women are doing that as well. Let others walk with you in the situation if they are available. And if they are not, ask your heart, do one of those breathe through your heart things. Ask your heart, who is it I need to call and lean on emotionally for this situation? Who is it that I need to walk with me through this situation? There are certainly many points when you can work with the getting into peace in this moment, because there are many moments in the course of those 3 days. I found comfort watching an old series that I love, binge watching some and doing some needlepoint on my day off. Here's the thing about other people being in your life when you've gotten bad news, particularly something bigger than what I'm talking about. It's a job. Oh gosh, it is big, but it's a lifestyle thing. It's not the loss of a loved one. although it was a loss of a loved, at any rate. Don't be surprised who shows up. The people you think would be there for you may not be the ones who show up. Sometimes the very people we just know are the people that we can count on. Maybe this particular situation they're just not capable of handling emotionally. Maybe it makes them afraid that it's going to happen to them. For whatever reason, sometimes the people we think will be there for us are not there. In that case, look to see who does come, because there will be people that you had no idea would show up for you and have your back in the way that they do, either through prayer, a phone call, talking to you, thinking about you. And I want to talk about children, because in two ways. One, if you have children and you think, I can tell you how many hospice situations and families this was true for. No matter how many children there are in the family, there usually is one who steps up to be the caregiver, or to have the back of the person who's going through the situation. There's usually one. In your own, don't expect everybody to show up like that person. They're not going to. Thank God there's one person who's going to show up for you. That is a win. That's a wonderful thing. And here's the other thing about bad news and children. If the bad news is around a situation where there are children and everybody's being quiet and not wanting to hurt them by giving them the news, or to keep them from being a part of the situation, that might be because of it's a divorce situation. It could be a situation of loss or illness. Children pick up very quickly that they're being left out, and they turn that inward. So they think they are to blame for all the bad news situation. Please involve your children. Ask them if they want to know what's going on. You can tell a version. Just say, if you want to know something, ask, and then be truthful. As truthful at the level of understanding that child has. And it's easy to underestimate what they know. It surely is. Now, someone you know may have been getting the bad news. What is it we can do when somebody has had devastating news? Anything from the loss of a pet to a murdered child. What do you do? It's overwhelming to us, some of the things our loved ones or friends are going through. It's difficult to show up for them if we're in fear. If you have already had the loss of a loved one and now somebody else is having the loss of a loved one, you know what that's like. And it's easier to show up when you've been initiated into that same situation that they're in. So show up. If you can, just be present. What do you say? There's nothing to say. There's no good thing to say. The best thing that was said to me at the time of my mother's death was, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for your loss. And a hug. I'm a huggy person. Other people may not be. Is it okay to give you a hug? You can text them if they're far away. I'm thinking about you. If praying is something that's comfortable for you, let them know you're praying for them, and then pray for them. Send your light in whatever way that you can. Do that exercise where you're bringing peace into your own world, and then send it out to them. To anchor it into us, you remember that stage of anchoring our peace. We send it out to someone else. So that exercise would work. Just get up and go. They don't care what your hair looks like. Go by the hospital. I'm not going to stay, but there's just something I might say. I just wanted to see you. I wanted to look you, lay eyes on you, and I wanted you to know that I love you. And then in my case, I would ask if it would be all right to have a prayer, but that would be me. You might say, is there something I can get for you? I know you bring in the Frosty or whatever. I know you love this, so I just brought you one of these. Just being there for a few minutes means the world to people. They remember that you were there, and they know that they're supported. And you might be the person they didn't expect to show up. Maybe you're the person they do expect to show up. But be both those people to whoever you can be, whatever circle maybe that they are in. Just sit in the room. You don't have to lead a conversation. You don't have to, whatever it might be, just presence. Stand in the corner. You'll be amazed at how many times just being there, then maybe somebody can say, can you go downstairs and walk my mother up to see where we are, meet her so she doesn't get lost? Whatever, you're there to do that for them. I'm thinking more of the hospital thing, but you can be there in the home. You can take the load of dish rags home and wash them and bring them back. You can, make a cup of coffee, make a pot of coffee. Do whatever you notice needs doing, but also notice when it's time to go. One of the things about the job I've been in is picking up on cues. Here's the best cue people will give you. Thank you so much for being here. That's always a good one. That means, and bye-bye. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. And, it's time to go. Thank you for joining me. I'm so glad that you're there. So as you join these, as you look at them after the fact, please comment. And I'll be looking at those, and we will, from those comments and from those questions, will come the next chats. I hope that I don't have to experience every time we're going to have a chat about something that I don't have to go through that particular thing like I apparently needed to do this time to be able to talk about what that's like. Already talked about involving children. I thank you so much for being here, so much for wanting to be in peace yourself. And as you are in peace, it influences those that are around you. They cannot help but respond to our peace. And that's my prayer and my plan, is to be in peace about the things, the bad news I've gotten, be in peace about when I'm with the people around whom that bad news came to me. So if I'm at peace, they're going to be able to relax because they know I've been hurt. And I don't believe that was their intention. That was because it wasn't about me. Please read that free course. There's a lot that is there that we build on here. And thank you very much. Thank you for being here. This is from my heart to yours.